How we doing, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? Info here with a Where Are We Now video. As some of you who keep up with YouTube know, that unfortunately Abelorna had a hubris demise against Dark Commander Alma, where I fat-fingered a Juve potion designated for me, put 2 on my Merc, and died. Didn't think I was going to rebuild her this season. But the overwhelming generosity of the community and just people wanting to see it again, they were like, dude, you got to rebuild this. So I was like, sure, I'm up for it. So here we are. This is the rebuild so far. So we'll start off with gear. So we have Oath at the moment. And the level 20 Bone Spear only does about 300 and something to nearly 400 damage. But the amount it procs is insane. It's 30% chance. It's just crazy. So it really helps because magic damage, again, monsters don't really have a lot of magic resistance. At first I thought it didn't really do anything. The Bone Spirit, sorry, not Spear, Bone Spirit. Because it shoots out, and if you've already killed a target, it just meanders off into nowhere and does nothing. But if you're engaged with a target, especially a boss monster, where you're stood next to it and you're proccing with Innocence, it just, because it's 30%, as I said, it just pops off all the time. And then it just goes through like guided arrow, bam, 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 and just keeps hitting. So that's quite nice, actually. But the reason I picked this Oath is because it's incredibly fast. So you get a 50% increased attack speed. You get Magic Absorb, which is something that I really love because magic damage really hurts, and to be able to absorb it is, you know, a wonderful thing. And that's 10 to 15, which is a lot in one place. And then, of course, the level 16 Heart of Wolverine charges, which is a lot in AR. All round, great weapon. I'm still looking for a Bear Rune to upgrade because I want to make Eternity so that I can have revives kicking out my Enchant, like the old version of this character that had Wolves from Crescent Moon, revives from Harmony, Golems from Metal Grid, Blood Moon, and Stone. Basically any summon I could. So yeah, I want to go back to that, but I'm going to put it in an elite base, so I can still hit too. I don't want to be just a useless summoner. I like the idea of having a bunch of homies with me and we're all hitting together. So that's what's happening next with the weapon slot. This helmet slot, again, is subject to change. I did actually find a Shaco yesterday, but it slammed for poison resistance. So I could use it because I've obviously balanced my poison res around using Andariel's, which has the 70 and the max and everything. But I'm not sure I want to change just yet. I like this because it has the increased attack speed, the skills for the enchants and battle orders, of course. Yeah, it's just a pretty good helmet. And I always actually use the Venom. As you can see, 18 to 20 charges. I like just having that extra bit of poison damage just to proc by this. It's not a lot, but, you know, it's something. I mean, obviously the weapon has prevent monster heal, so I would say it's like prevent monster heal, but, you know, it's every little bit helps, you know. Amulet is my old amulet from previous incarnation of this sorceress. So I get +2 to sorcerer skills to you know, proc enchants and things. Doesn't help with battle orders, but I do have a spare Seraph's Hymn, so I'm thinking of chucking that on her in the near future. Possibly when I get the Bear Rune, as I said, to make Eternity weapon. I might change then. It all depends on stuff. I mean, faster hit recovery I get here, and lightning resist, bit of magic fine. AR at this point, I'm not sure I really need it, but we'll go over stats in a bit. Shield is Spirit Ward. I did talk about this before, I think, in my previous video, in that you use the Spirit Ward, the +2 to sorcerer skills when you switch back from buffing, does pluses, obviously, to your masteries, which in turn do give you more damage when you're hitting. It's just not when you're, you know, buffing the enchants. So it is still kind of useful to have that, because most people probably say, why not use a Storm Shield? You get PDR as well as, you know, stuff. Whereas with this one, I don't have much blocking, so I get a little bit from the shield. I get a fat amount of reses, of course, which is very important. A little bit of cold absorb, which is always nice. I like this shield, and I like being invisible, of course, because again, you get even more resistance. You know, even tiny little bit more PDR, things like that. You know, all round, it's a good choice. So yeah, I got Innocence back again through the generosity of the community. Nico gave me this base, and then karmically he found a better base not long after that, because he said it'd been hanging around his stash for ages, so that was really nice. And Sorc had a Zod rune, and he traded it with me. He could have traded it with anyone, but I made sure I overpaid him for that, because I was like, oh my god, I can rebuild it, and then he overpaid me back. It just got a little bit insane. 3095 defense. This character is hella chonky. I can just stand in the middle of boss packs and just not care. It's great. So we've got some tri-res boots. Again, my noggin's in the way. I'll pull them over here. So yeah, some tri-res boots to help out, because the resistances aren't brilliant, and I can't make up for it very well in here because of all the skillers. But anyway, so faster run walk, nice. Tiny bit replenish, trifactor, and then a tiny bit of magic find. They're not the best, but again, I've not found anything better. I've been leveling lots of different characters lately and not grinding the magic find, because I find that boring as well. I don't want to, you know, kill this character by not playing it. A Ravenfrost for the cannot be frozen, of course. Bit of cold absorb again, always nice. Deck slam is again nice because of AR and blocking and things, so you know, it's okay. I wish the actual AR was higher. You know, 10 over, you know, anti-perf is, you know, not good, but I think my AR is in a good place now, so I'm fine with it. Just for cannot be frozen. This belt I'm going to replace at some point. It's the faster hit recovery that got me. I've sort of hedged my bets on, you know, that being where my faster hit recovery is at. Because I had this in my stash randomly as a required character level 34, so I had it on from sort of early doors, and again, not been magic finding enough to change it. I think I have a string of ears hanging around in my stash which I could change it to, but I kind of want back what I had before, which was a Verdungos. I had a Verdungos that I slammed myself for faster cast rate, and that was perfect for this character, because you do need a tiny bit of faster cast rate so you can not teleport as slow as molasses. So yeah, I need a belt like this. It's a Bloodcraft, you know, with the open wounds and stuff like that. The strength is nice to get gear on. Yeah, it's going to be hard to replace, because again, there's lots of stats in there which I need. But anyway, this is just a tri-res ring, again, just to keep the reses up. Strength, excuse me, strength on it to, again, equip the gear. You know, some of this stuff's quite heavy. 185 for that. I could have put minus requirement jewels in it with res on them, but it was easier just to go flat res, because I really needed it. So yeah, res ring, strength, you know, just basic. Same with these gloves is the same with this belt and boots. All these slots need upgrading. So this is just a random massive AR gloves. So you've got the huge bonus to attack rating, as well as flat attack rating. So it really helps. The attack speed I don't think is necessary. And again, a bit of life, bit of magic fine. You know. So yeah, these slots need an upgrade, but you know, it's not pressing. This character does its job based off of, you know, this and this. Yeah. So that's the gear. So we'll move on to charms. So I've got this Fire Skiller, which karmically came back to me. I gave a friend a Druid Summoning Skiller with 30 plus life, 34 I think it was, and he didn't have any currency to pay me at the time, so I said, yeah, just think about me later when something drops. And he's a hardcore magic finder grinder. So when that dropped, and he was like, yeah, Dean, there you go, it's coming back to you. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, big fat skiller there. I found that one, I think, myself. Yeah, pretty much. And then I found that one, which was nice. And then one plain one. So yeah, still room for improvement on the charms. The cold skillers especially room for improvement. I was given this 18 lifer by Krem, I think. And then I think Herbs gave me that one. I mean, I do fire damage, so it helps. Someone else gave me a cold damage one, again, it helps. But life and stuff would be better as a second stat. And then lastly, another plain one. This charm, again, I'm a big fan of AR. I want to be hitting to get, you know, the enchant damage out, and obviously life good because this character has barely any. But due to the massively high defense, it's not really much of a problem. Looks squishy, but it's not too bad. And speaking of squishy, you know, Torch and Annie are very necessary because you need the vitality and the energy bonuses, especially with energy shield to keep you, you know, up and running. So Torch is okay. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just sort of, you know, in the middle. I'd like higher vitality, but you know, energy is where it's at because of the energy shield, as I said. Then we've got this corrupted one, which I got from Nico. I won a marbles. Well, actually, again, generosity to the community. Jermu won marbles and donated his winnings to me, which was an Annie and a corrupted shard, which Nico then slammed on stream, and then, you know, blind slam, get what you're given. And I was really happy with this because I love resistances, and this character needed them. Everyone was sort of a bit like, "Oh man, that's not good," and I was like, "It's good for me." You know, I'm happy. It's got max energy for the energy shield. It's got high vitality roll. And again, resistances, it would have been low res, but then got topped up. So I don't mind. I'm happy with that. And then the rest of these charms are just, you know, to help fill up the gaps. So life, life resistance, you know, life with a tiny bit of cold damage, life resistance, and then these are all flat lifers, I think. Yeah, well, that one's got a tiny bit of fire damage. But yeah, so lifers. I found that 20 lifer last night, actually. Yeah. So that's the inventory. So we'll go on to the mercenary now. So he's managed to get a few upgrades along the way. I found this Vamp Gaze again, which is what he had before, the previous incarnation before he died. So this one's good because it's physical damage 20 reduced and 14 MDR, so 1 off max. 8 life leech max. And replenish life isn't terrible for a mercenary. So yeah, I stuck a Lazik's, you know, Malice on it and gave him some faster hit recovery. All good stuff. We got the String of Ears, which, again, cold resist roll isn't brilliant, but still good life leech, good physical damage reduction. MDR is a bit lacking, but it's all good. So I put, again, some badly slammed Rite of Passage on for Cannot Be Frozen. And then I found these for Deadly Strike Slam, and I thought it's perfect because the 2-piece bonus, that poison damage actually goes a long way. And yeah, he needed some increased attack speed gloves, so that's a good pairing. And now we're on to these pieces, which badly need of an upgrade. So I've got an Insight Giant Thresher. It's nice to have the mana increase for the energy shield. But obviously, I want to upgrade this weapon. I mean, if I'm not finding bear runes for an eternity, I'm not finding bear runes for infinity. If he had an infinity, I'd be very happy because my damage would just be insane. It would be 1 tapping everything instead of 2 to 3 tapping everything. But again, I'm not a perfectionist. I'm quite happy where he is, but anything that comes along, we'll go with it. And again, same with this. It's an all-res slammed 2-throw, which is nice. You know, it rolled well. It rolled 20 on the all-res. Helps keep him topped up. But again, the Deadly Strike roll is his anti-perf. It's just not a good armor. Again, I'm looking for something like an FG Bane or a Leviathan. You know, things just to keep him tanky. But obviously the end goal here, which would be amazing, especially when I get Eternity with the revives, would be for him to have a Templars. So I get the Might Aura as well as the Defiance Aura. Yeah, so that's the mercenary. Forgot about my switch, sorry. So on switch, we have Call to Arms and a Steel Clash for buffing, and we have Mang Songs again, which I think I can't remember if I bought it or someone donated it, which was very kind, but again, for buffing the enchants. So we'll do a bit of example gameplay, anyway, just to show you. It's pretty much the same as last time. So we go out here, weapon switch, buff up some of that stuff, battle orders and battle command, and then we buff up all the energy shield, the enchants, and the chilling armor, and then I put battle cry back on in case I'm desperate, so I can weapon switch battle cry. But it just doesn't come up. It's not necessary. The amount of elemental damage we do it just destroys everything. So then I switch back, and then I pop on Venom, and then I pop on some Heart of Wolverine again. Level 16 gives you, as you can see, 175% to damage and attack rating, which is lovely. So then we'll do a quick look at stats now. So I do, yeah, nearly 10k to 12k. I've got nearly 17k AR, and I have 21k defense, which is insane. Yeah, it's really, really good. So I have a really bad teleport breakpoint, as you can see, it's 20. But again, it gets me places. It's slow, but I'm a combat sorceress, not a sorceress. And we have 60 fast hit recovery. I did have 86 when obviously I was wearing stone. But the thing about that is Innocence is just so powerful. Again, we can just run up here and just teleport in, stand there. Again, as you can see, all the spirits are popping off. It's really good. They do the job. And Mercenary runs around and hits everything for me, just to clean up. And yeah, I could stand there and be lazy if I wanted to, but I actually want to hit stuff. So if I hit stuff, that works still. It's the same as last time. I can either stand there and do nothing, or which I don't like doing, or jump in, start hitting. It does very respectable damage. Both does. And there you have it. Stuff like that, it just melts. Everything just melts. And like I said, I'm not afraid to dive on stuff. If you look like you're about to get hit, see, I'm already invisible. I've been hit, so even more, resistances and stuff. You don't get any more defense, sadly, but I get damage reduction. So I'm on 9, 22 with the Mercenaries Defiance Aura. It's not a lot. 9 flat, 22, and no MDR, but you look at you get the 14 absorption, which makes up for my lack of magic damage reduction. And again, the energy shield takes care of a lot of it. So if you ever sort of jump into a bad pack and they're hitting you a lot, you just pop a mana potion. I tend to preempt the mana potion because they're all over the floor. If I'm running from pack to pack like this, and there's a pack here, I dive in, pop a mana pot straight away, just in case. They might be, bad. Right, anyway, that is where we are now with the Melee Sorceress. As I said, the next steps are upgrading the weapon, upgrading some of this stuff, and yeah, that's where we stand. And hopefully inspires you guys to make some sorceresses that are outside the box. Melee sorceresses are a lot of fun. Especially with really high defense. That's what you really need, and energy shield. It really works. So hopefully give it a try. See how you feel.